I just wanted to share with you guys a few more types of problems that you might see that would require you to write an equation and solve. So for the first one here, it says find 4 consecutive integers whose sum is 86. So we're finding 4 numbers and they're consecutive integers. When you think of consecutive integers, you have to really think about the fact what does consecutive mean. That means in order. So like 1, 2, 3, 4. Those are consecutive integers. So if I don't know what those integers are, I could say the first one is just x. The second one would have to be x plus 1. Because if you think of the numbers 1, 2, if 1 is x, then 2 is x plus 1. It's just the 1 plus 1 more to give you the 2. And so on. I could do the same thing with 3. It would be x plus 2. So the 1 plus 2 would be 3. And that's how you're going to write these. So we've done the first one. I've done the second one. Here's the third one. And here's the fourth one. And together the sum, so I knew I was adding, is 86. So now you can combine like terms. Combine the x's. You end up with 4x plus, and then you have 1 plus 2 plus 3. You get 6 equals 86. Now you can just solve the equations. Subtract 6, 4x equals 80, divide by 4, x equals 20. But does that answer our question? No, it asked for the 4 consecutive integers whose sum is 86. So we know the first integer is 20, and then we have 21, 22, and 23. These are the 4 consecutive integers. This is a very similar problem, but adds another little twist to it. So this time we're only finding 2 consecutive odd integers whose sum is 196. So we're thinking of odd integers, so odd numbers. So if I was to say 1 and then 3, this would be x. This could be x plus 2, not x plus 1, because I'm skipping a number to get to the next consecutive odd number. So let's write out the equation because we really don't know what those two numbers are. The first one's going to be x, and the second one is going to be x plus 2. And it is again a sum, so I'm adding these, and it will equal 196. Now you can combine like terms. You have x and x, which is 2x, plus 2 equals 196. Subtract 2. You have 2x equals 194. Divide by 2. X equals 97. So that is my first odd integer. The one after it, be plus 2 more, or skip a number, will be 99. I can always check and add those two up, and if as long as it equals 196, we did it right. Here's another type of problem that you might see. And you've already seen a few of these, but just to refresh your memory on what happens. Again, you're just undoing everything you see. What would you do first in this problem is you would subtract 12, and then you would divide by 14. So to undo that, I'm going to multiply by 14 first. Cancel those out. Bring down the d minus 12. And then do 14 times 16, which is 224. And now I'm going to add 12 to get rid of that negative, or this minus 12. And I'm left with D equals 236. One more crazy problem. Carlos the sneakerhead. So remember that Shanice and all of her hats where she kept getting some and then losing some of them? Well, her cousin Carlos has a crazy shoe collection. In November, he doubled. So in November, he doubled the number of shoes he had. In December, he bought 14 more. And in January, he had to sell 1/3 of his shoes to pay some bills. Poor Carlos, no money. After all that, Carlos had 18 pairs of sneakers. So after, I want to know how many individual shoes he has. So now let's write the equation based on what we underlined. So November, he doubled the shoes. So that'd be 2 times the number of shoes. In December, he bought 14 more, so I'm going to add 14. And I'm going to sell then in January 1/3 of those. Well, that I can multiply 1 by 1/3 or just divide by 3. And after all that, we're left with 18. Now we can solve the problem. The first step would be to multiply by 3. You're left with 2s plus 14 equals 54. Then we're going to subtract 14. We're left with 2s equals 40. Divide by 2. S will equal 20. But that's the number of pairs, because in the whole problem, we're talking about pairs of shoes. So, talked about pairs here, and at the end he had so many pairs. So how many individual ones? Well, that would be twice the number, because there's 2 pairs of shoes in each. So that's 40 shoes.